Okay, we be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom. My name is Armin Navabi. Sorry about the delay. We had technical difficulties.
And I'm Ali Sawani. Turns out our streaming platform was having a heart attack, but we are here now. And we are going to be talking today about how Iran is a potential trigger for World War III. We will have all of our regular news and broadcasting for you guys, as well as what's happening with Iran. So let's get started with that. Initially, we thought that this would be over shortly in this conflict, but it turns out we may be looking at a longer conflict than we initially thought. This might take months or years if it were to finally end, but we do know that it will finally end with the Islamic Republic finally being overthrown. A couple of days ago on this stream, we told you guys that the Ukrainian armed forces attacked and destroyed weapon shipments from the Russians to the IRGC. And we know that most of the Persian Gulf Arab countries are also being drawn into this conflict. In fact, most countries in the Middle East are being drawn in. Pakistan just signed a new defense agreement with Kuwait, so it also provides defense for Saudi Arabia and now Kuwait. More and more countries are being drawn in. The Islamic Republic is a proxy for China and Russia. It's very interconnected. And the worrisome part for me, and I want to know what you think, Armin, what I'm worried about is that the longer this conflict takes is not really an issue, but it's the more countries that are being drawn into this conflict. Every country has its own set of priorities and objectives to accomplish. Something that particularly worries me is that the countries around Iran will create a buffer zone of sorts. The longer this conflict is carried out, the more, twisted and complicated it gets. Countries like Turkey or others may want to create a buffer zone, and they will take land from Iran to create this buffer zone. Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, I wasn't thinking about it until now, so thank you for putting that thought in my head. Where did you get this idea from?
I took a look at the conflict as a whole last night. I kind of zoomed out, went through all my notes, went through all of our maps that we've created. And when I looked at what Israel is doing in South Lebanon with that buffer zone, I kind of thought about, and then I went through the Turkey news. As soon as I read the Turkey news, it kind of clicked in my head that there are some powers here that are perhaps waiting to take a piece of Iran for themselves and call it a buffer zone, maybe 50, 100 kilometers in. The more countries that were getting drawn in. Yeah.
So maybe no, because the Islamic Republic would love that, because that was the Iranian people really care about their border integrity, and nothing will make the Iranians nothing has the chance, I mean, I'm saying the chance is high, of the Iranian people working as marketing for the Islamic Republic for the Iranians to switch their priorities to something else rather than regime change, more than threats to their border security. However, the Iranian people do also, I understand that the greatest threat to the border security is the Islamic Republic, because none of this would happen if the Islamic Republic was not in power. But given how many times the Islamic Republic has used threats to border integrity as a way to try to get attention away from regime change and towards other enemies that are coming, because the Iranian people consider the Islamic Republic to be their enemy, their main enemy, with a huge margin from anyone else, right? But if anybody wants to attack Iran's border integrity, the Islamic Republic would love that as an opportunity to introduce an enemy that is not the Islamic Republic, right? So this might be a miscalculation. I hope, I don't know how much the Turkish intelligence knows about these things, but this would work in favor of the Islamic Republic if they try to do something like that.
And that may be why it's important to draw these neutral or sort of countries that are hawkish and waiting for an opportunity back into orbit of the United States with these new deals that are going on. I don't necessarily want more countries involved in this unless the conflict ends sooner. I just don't want to be a trigger for a potential World War III. We're even seeing countries like Ukraine get involved. But regardless, this conflict still has more to go. And we just saw that President Trump withheld this operation on Friday night. And now you have media like the New York Times coming out and saying, yeah, it was actually because the Patriot missile interceptors, the United States doesn't have enough interceptors. That's why we called off the war. In my opinion, it's exactly the sort of thing that the White House would leak to media on purpose. And then the New York Times, takes this story, they spread it, everyone believes it. And as a result, Trump gets more maneuverability, gets more room to play around with this sort of information, saying, oh, yeah, we called off the operation because we didn't have enough missile interceptors, when in reality, it could be something else entirely. They can play this tune however they want with these sort of leaks. In particular, in war, there's a strategy of appearing weak when you're strong. This is one of those intentional deceptions, in my opinion. I think you heard about that news. And even though we saw all of these, massive airlifts coming in and the US putting new orders in for interceptors, what do you think? Do you think that was really the reason?
I think it's true that they're running low on certain munitions. I mean, we mentioned this before, that this is one of the reasons why they're not interested in escalating right now. This is a failure of the Biden administration that didn't ramp up production on some of these missile interceptors. And it's true that this is, I think it's true that that's one of the major limitations. It's one of the 4 M's, remember? So when it comes to anything that the United States is not limited at all when it comes to being able to destroy what they need within the Islamic Republic. When it comes to defense, they probably have enough right now to be able to defend against the Islamic Republic, but it is getting to low enough levels for them to not be ready in case something else happens around the world. So I do think it is true that they're getting to critical low levels. And remember, guys, the 4 M's that limits the United States to some extent is markets, media, munition, and midterms, right? And different, some of them have more of an effect, some of them have less an effect. So munitions was one of the 4 M's that we have been talking about for a time. So I don't think it's that far off. They might be exaggerating it, you might be right, but I don't think it's completely irrelevant. We discussed this in our group call earlier today in our group discussion. By the way, if you guys want to join our group discussion, the QR code is in the top left, and the link is in the description as well. Amu Jeff in the group call, he was suggesting that, yeah, this is true. However, if we wanted to just, instead of doing this tit for tat with the Islamic Republic, if you just go for immediate trying to escalate to the level where you just take out whatever is remaining of the Islamic Republic, there is a way to do this where you wouldn't need much of a defense munitions. Again, that's what Jeffrey was saying in the group call. So obviously I don't know how true that is, but just wanted to make sure that you guys know that. I do think if you just hit the regime hard enough for the Iranian people to be able to finish the job, then the Islamic Republic would be too busy dealing with an armed uprising of the Iranian people that it wouldn't make sense for it at that point to start shooting at U.S. bases around the Persian Gulf. So I don't know how fast that could be done, but I don't think that the White House is going to go for that right now. There is a plan. It seems like there is a plan for major escalation. It might get delayed, but it cannot be avoided. But the major escalation is not at that level. The major escalation seems to suggest that they were planning to do major operations in maybe southern Iran, take over some islands. I mean, at least this was the plan. It's canceled. We'll see whether or not Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit to the White House is going to make them come up with a new plan. But that would require a lot of defense defense
Right.
missiles. One thing I want to ask, I know you want to get to the next topic, but I just want to say this: it is also possible that the prime minister's visit to the White House might be a misdirection. It might. I'm not saying it's not, but you have to. I'm not saying it is, but you have to consider the option that it might be a way for the Islamic Republic to think that there's not going to be an attack while Prime Minister Netanyahu's meeting with Trump, and then they might attack exactly then. So it might be a misdirection as well.
They absolutely could. I think the leader of Hezbollah was actually assassinated while Bibi was not in Israel at the time. He was on a meeting.
Exactly. It was in the UN.
Yeah, you're right. So, here's Brad Cooper, and he just went and from the White House, he told the reporters that I don't think we should do this because we don't have enough missile interceptors. And that's the headlines. But on the flip side, he also said, and I actually have the article, he also said something on the complete opposite side, which people are completely ignoring. So he also said this, which several officials, said Admiral Brad Cooper, believe the U.S. can cope with the limited stocks of Patriot and other air defense interceptors because stepped-up U.S. strikes, if they are approved, would blunt Iran's ability to launch large numbers of missiles. What does that mean? It means we're just going to hit them and destroy them faster than they can launch missiles. That's the whole, one of the basic principles of war is that the best defense is a good offense. Just destroy them. They can't launch them. He said that at the same part, and people are not focusing on that. They're focusing more on the other one, the other side of the narrative, which the New York Times is pushing, which makes me think it's a very intentional leak by the White House here. Not to say it's not a limitation, it's just a very intentional leak in my opinion here. So it got postponed, right, Armin? And we don't know when exactly this operation can kick back off. It could be at any time. I have a idea at what the United States plan generally is here. Sorry, there's something stuck in my throat. I think that the United States absolutely has a plan. And that plan becomes more clear when you look at the money. I'm always a big proponent of saying, hey, follow where the money and the economics of things are going. So let's take a look at these things. One, the oil production by the United States by the end of Donald Trump's term is set to increase by 10 million barrels per day, which is an insane number. Why do you guys think that Donald Trump is pushing for this massive exporting of oil? On one hand, the United States doesn't really care if the Persian Gulf Arab countries and the Islamic Republic over, a little bit more time destroy each other's oil infrastructure to some extent. It's actually not very much detrimental to the United States as a country. It's detrimental to a lot of other countries. But the price of oil being high, the United States exporting more, maybe even production from the Middle East getting cut a little bit and the US bumping up the production, that's all more money that comes into the United States as a result of it. What do you think about that?
Wait, say that again?
The United States is boosting oil production by 10 million barrels a day by the end of Trump's term.
But that's going to take a long time to have its effect. That's a long-term solution, isn't it?
Correct. So would it be crazy to say that if some of the infrastructure, the oil infrastructure in the Middle East is blown up, it's to the benefit of the United States long term?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to highlight that. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to highlight that each country has their own set of priorities.
Yes. No, okay, so one of the 4 M's was markets, right? So you're right that it makes a lot of sense for United States to find alternative sources of oil to fill the market so that it and other countries could fill up their oil reserves so they have enough cushion to go back into military operations. But if that's the plan, do you agree that means that this is going to take a lot longer? If that is the plan, that we're going to be in this for the foreseeable future? Yeah.
if that's the only factor in this plan, correct. But the most important factor, which Armin and I are experts in, are the Iranian people. We cannot control when the Iranian people have their next uprising. Countries can plan for this and that, but they cannot control human minds and hearts at the end of the day. As much as China tries to, and we will show you a clip of that later on, of some futuristic technology and some restrictions that they've done in a specific city. Another thing, some of that oil technology is only owned by the United States. So for example, if you go into the ocean in the Persian Gulf and you start drilling from the water down into the seabed, that's actually only tech that the United States possesses. The Persian Gulf countries do not possess that tech. So if you destroy their oil rigs there, they're screwed. They cannot build them back anytime soon until they develop them themselves. Ukraine has destroyed a majority of not only Russia's oil fleet, but also their oil refineries spanning all the way into Siberia. The longer this conflict gets drawn out, yeah?
Which adds to the difficulty, because now Russian oil is not in the market as well, right?
Absolutely. So this not only gives an opportunity for the US to long-term devour that market share, but it would also be very, very good for Iran, for a free Iran. The sooner, again, that happens, it's to the benefit of Iran, it's to the detriment of the Persian Gulf Arab countries. Qatar wants a dumb, stupid, weak Islamic Republic in power. They don't want American companies coming in and investing in Iran. They want them coming and investing in Qatar. The longer this conflict gets drawn out, the worse off of a position the Iranian people are, because as you guys know, the economic miseries in Iran are numerous. And in fact, I have this graphic for you guys from the Islamic Republic themselves, stating that what is the population of Iran going to be like, and what is the poverty line going to be like for Iranians. So this is going to be in Farsi, but we're just going to tell you what it means. So they're saying in the next 2 years here, 45% of the Iranian population will be under the poverty line. Keep in mind, this is Islamic Republic numbers. You know what that means?
That's worse. The real numbers are worse. It means that the real numbers are worse.
The real numbers are way worse. I would say we're probably past the 45% mark poverty line at the moment, and we're going to be approaching maybe the 70% in 2 years from now. So this is absolutely bogus, hocus pocus. And as usual, the Iranian people are the victims of everything that's to happen here. Speaking of oil infrastructure on fire, we were able to see that the Houthis, who launched a major attack on Saudi oil 2 days ago, has been continuing. Aramco is still on fire. This would be the city of, I think it was Jazan. Their oil refinery right here is pretty much completely on fire. The oil storage here is on fire. So not the actual means to produce more oil, just the fuelage, the tankers that we told you guys the Houthis hit. And they hit that because they don't want to escalate things. They just want to hit the fuel storages and not the means of production there. We're actually able to see another 40 miles south. South, yes. 40 miles south of this refinery, another Saudi refinery is also on fire. These satellites, the little red boxes that you see, indicate massive fires. The Saudis are not too happy about this. And I largely believe in the future we might see a lot of other oil refineries across the Middle East also come under attack and on fire, similar to Fujairah here, which has been targeted many times by the Islamic Republic. Armin, what kind of escalation are we looking at if these Persian Gulf Arab countries start seeing their infrastructure hit? What's the consequences of this?
Oh my God, the consequences is going to be that they would finally move towards getting more united against the Islamic Republic. They would not just be buying American and Ukrainian military equipment to attack the Islamic Republic. They will also hire Americans and Israel and Ukrainians to come do their job for them. There will probably be some other Arab countries that will say yes to the Abrahamic Accord. I don't know which one first. It would be the biggest deal of Saudi Arabia finally gives into that, to be able to get under the security umbrella of Israel, given that it works very well with for the UAE. This is not going to save their economy until the Islamic Republic falls. It's going to convince more Arab countries that the Islamic Republic need to fall, that the strategy of appeasement doesn't work, that there's only one solution to this, to all of this mess. Their economy is going to get more and more hurt until the Shah is back, until there's a Shah in the Middle East. They realized that the only reason why they had stability in the Middle East at some point, it was because Iran had a Shah, and they would be desperate to go back to having the Shah becoming the security guarantor of their region.
Beautifully said. Absolutely correct. Completely correct. Some of these Persian Gulf Arab countries are completely complicit, or at least they have the knowledge to be. According to the foremost oil expert in the Iranian opposition, Saeed Qasemi-Najad, also the right-hand man of His Royal Highness Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, said that a Panamanian flag tanker is carrying 350,000 barrels of Iranian oil to the UAE. I think you guys can all figure out what's going to happen in the UAE. Some of the ships are going to, change oil. Some oil goes on that ship, some on that ship. The regime gets to sell their oil and make some money. So this looks like their competitive adaptation of the IRGC to get around the blockade is to, hey, if our ships can't go through the blockade, the UAE ships can. Let's just put our oil on their ships. And the UAE government is definitely aware of this. Now, this might be a private sector thing, but they are most definitely aware of this 100%. So the Persian Gulf Arab countries, again, guys, have their own objectives, most of which are actually completely against the objectives of the Iranian people. So we'll keep an eye on that. We are going to show you guys now the rampage that Donald Trump just went on today, an absolute massacre on Truth Social. It was quite frankly absolutely insane. I'm just going to pull up Truth Social because I think there's like 10 of them that he posted. Some pretty provocative things. Most people are going to be pointing out. So let's start with the biggest one. And it looks like, oh, did he actually go in and delete them? That's very interesting. No, I don't think so. I think they're still there. That would be very, very funny. Okay. Let's show you guys one of them here. For example, this one. Goodbye, engine room of the Islamic Republic oil tankers. And there's one other one about Kharg Island. If I can pull that up for you guys as well. We can actually find that together here. So I think it's just a Congo line of different memes that Donald Trump has posted in provocation of the IRGC. Just F-35s dropping bombs on what it looks like down there to be Iran. We just keep going down the line here. I think he just told ChatGPT to, give him more versions of the same thing at this point, because it's just, let's keep going here. There was the Kharg Island one. We got this one, FAFO. And guys, when he posts a lot of Truth Social things, right, like these, he's got some time on his hands. So there's nothing crazy happening right now or today. He's taking maybe a day off even, because what he does is he stands in the Oval Office. He's sitting at his desk, and there's an assistant there next to him, and he tells the assistant, he dictates to the assistant verbally, I want you to make this and post it on Truth Social. So the assistant types into ChatGPT, Donald Trump sitting on oil tanker hoisting American flag, and his assistant makes that for him. So it's a pretty funny story there. In fact, there's just multiple versions of the same thing going on. over and over again. I mean, he posted this like 50 different times. Look at this one is a good one because you got these people, I think, you know, Durkas in what appears to be bathrobes getting kicked off an oil tanker here. But the one, I mean, again, we just got more and more. But the one that people are pointing to is this one. He's starting to post this again. Seems to be a little bit of a cycle, and that's Kharg Island. So it looks like this is back on people's menus to talk about. And it seems like if you guys want to see what Kharg Island actually is, so if we look into the Persian Gulf here, Kharg Island is that little dot. The Strait of Hormuz is all the way over here, right? So this is Kharg Island. You can actually see all the oil infrastructure over here. You can see where the ships are actually docking and getting oil from. And it's all the way up there. But we do happen to be striking this area extremely heavily in the last 14 days, didn't we, guys? Covered that for you guys as well. So the line of blockade is right here. Pretty much covers this area right here, about 250 miles. And why would you need to take Kharg Island if you can just simply blockade any ships coming and going? Well, the question is, and the answer to that question is, Kharg Island has a lot of storage and refinery capacities. And if you take that, you pretty much immediately start bankrupting the Islamic Republic in terms of oil. All of their oil needs to come here. It sits in these tankers. Then it gets loaded up onto the ships. If you get rid of that, they can't keep parking ships there and loading on oil, acting as floating storages. Armin, do you think we could potentially see a southern invasion include Kharg Island, even though it's so far up in the Persian Gulf?
So two issues. First of all, yes, if they take Kharg Island, that would devastate the Islamic Republic. So that's a huge problem for the Islamic Republic. But there's two problems with it. One, it's completely in sight of the Islamic Republic's rocket launchers and, you know, drone bases. So the American soldiers will be very vulnerable there without like a defense system being there. So they will be, it's a very risky operations. Two, if you take Kharg Island, the Islamic Republic wouldn't be able to put a lot of like, it would really hinder their ability to put oil out there, which is bad for the Islamic Republic. But that also means that there will be so much less oil in the markets, which I don't know if the world or United States low oil reserves could tolerate that. It could also be a bluff that that's a thing that they are that worried about, but it might, I mean, it's likely not. But the thing is that people are like, okay, well, if you go take Kharg Island, there's so much oil sitting there, just go take that and then put it in the market or whatever, and that will solve the problem. Okay, the issue is that would be a one-time solution, because which might be give you a buffer for a short period of time, but the problem is that then Kharg Island itself doesn't produce any oil. It's where the oil comes to get on the oil tankers, right? It's like the reason why Kharg Island works for this is because the surrounding water areas is you know, the depth is like exactly what you need for like big oil tankers, right? So that's why it's a very strategic island that you could do this around. However, once you take over the island, then the Islamic Republic is not going to send oil that it extracts from all its oil wells to Kharg Island for it then to go to the rest of the world. So you might get a one-time payment, but then you're not going to get, it's going to stop. Like there's like, obviously the Americans can't just go and start operating all the oil wells. There's like, these are government employees. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't, like the oil is going to stop coming to it. So that's going to be very difficult to do. One thing you could do to take Kharg Island, I mean, if you wanted to do Kharg Island, you need to do two things. You need to ramp up oil production from so many other places. I don't know, maybe Iraq, Venezuela, you know, Alaska, the monkey was suggesting. to be able to replace to basically get a bit cushion, but that will take a long time to have any effect. Another thing you should be doing is basically keep you know how we have seen day like 12 days 11 days of bombardments, 13 days has been, yeah, of bombardments on southern Iran to basically remove radars, launching missile launchers, everything that could be a threat to the American soldiers on any of the island in southern Iran. You need to do that a lot more because the Islamic Republic is still able to throw missiles and drones and stuff. You need to go higher, and you need to clear all that like you need to see like a few weeks of really aggressive attacks in southern Iran to be able to then have your Marines there without putting them in great risk, right? And honestly, if you want to, but taking Kharg Island again wouldn't open the Strait of Hormuz. It would just put a lot of pressure on the Islamic Republic. Another thing that would, like, if the Americans were interested in opening the Strait of Hormuz instead of taking over Kharg Island, they would do an aggressive push over taking over the islands around the Strait of Hormuz, like Qesh, Lark, and Tomba Kuchik, Tomba Buzurg, Larak. I mean, so all of that. So because, and also all the areas in southern Iran in the mainland, right adjacent to the Strait of Hormuz. So you need to do a lot of bombardments into making sure that you take all the Islamic Republic's ability to be a threat to the Marines around that area, and then you move in and take over the islands. And then if you take over the islands, then you will be able to. So the Islamic Republic uses those islands over there to control the Strait, to try to try to control the Strait of Hormuz. If the Americans have that, everything will flip to the American side. But again, taking over the islands is one thing, holding them would be another thing, right? Because then you have to continuously have air support and continue to destroy, because the Islamic Republic keeps building new missiles, new missile launchers. And you need to maintain the bombardments for the Americans to be able to hold these islands. So this is long term. Short term, you might be able to do this. Long term, this is not sustainable. The only thing that is sustainable is full regime change, right? The only thing that is sustainable, and let me just cut to the chase. There is no solution here other than full regime change, right? And this is going to keep going. There's no way for the Islamic Republic to get out of this, and there is no way for the United States to get out of this, right? The Islamic Republic is not going to give up the Strait of Hormuz, and the United States is not going to let the Islamic Republic maintain control over the Strait of Hormuz, right? And you could keep using these other ways to try to win this. Like, all of this is short term. Even if you get the Americans in those islands, then you need to stay there and keep supporting them. And as soon as you leave, they're going to come back and block the Strait of Hormuz. Now that you're in it, the only way that you're going to get the Strait of Hormuz free and accessible to international commercial ships, make it like again open maritime trade available to all. The only way is regime change. You have to go for the head of the beast and get rid of them. And the only way to do that, it's not by a major ground invasion. It's the only way to do that is to support the Iranian people, is to arm the Iranian people and support the uprising of the Iranian people under the leadership of Prince Reza Pahlavi against the Islamic Republic.
Absolutely correct. And we'll get to that in just a second about the Pahlavi Shahs. This is what the Middle East currently looks like as of 1 hour ago. The refueling tankers are all in the air, C-17s, KC-135s, even some communications and electronic warfare aircraft are active over the skies. You can't see the fighter jets, obviously, but this is pretty much the regular activity you would have if you wanted to conduct strikes on the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we are seeing that right now. What we've seen from last night till now is another air bridge from America to Europe and from Europe to the Middle East, carrying in many, many more supplies to bases in Jordan, Israel, and Saudi Arabia. If we go over to Israel, we can start talking about Benjamin Netanyahu and what he's about to do tomorrow when he lands and talks to Donald Trump in the White House. let's see. He had a couple of interviews with Fox News today, and he talks about the Islamic Republic, and he talks about even what he's going to do when he comes to America to talk to Donald Trump.
I think it will. What will it take? It will take for Iran to understand, either for this regime to fall, or for Iran to realize that the cost of wreaking economic chaos to the world, murdering its thousands of its own citizens, and shooting at everyone. I mean, literally at everyone. At Saudi Arabia, at Bahrain, at Qatar, at Kuwait, at the UAE, at Israel, at Jordan, every single one. I mean, this is what this regime is doing when they don't have nuclear weapons. So imagine what they would do if they had nuclear weapons. I think when this regime is either toppled or it's sufficiently weakened that it knows it has to end its nuclear program and has to change its course. That's really what President Trump is trying to achieve. And I back his his efforts to do so. If he can do so without returning to intense military fighting, that's fine. Why not? But one way or the other, they have to end their nuclear program. And with
or without a deal, this has to come to an end. So that was his first clip there. What do you think about that while I pull up the second one? Oh, you're muted.
Okay, so can you be more specific with the question?
Right. So he's saying we don't have to go back to intense military fighting if the regime is sufficiently crippled. You know, some little signals there that pretty much he's fully on board with Donald Trump. Now, keep in mind, guys, he's visiting Donald Trump tomorrow, so it's not like he's going to come out on Fox News and say anything against him. Of course, he's going to say, I'm fully on board with what Trump wants. But we all know every country has their own objectives. Can you tell us how? Can you tell us how the U.S. and Israel's objective is a little bit different here?
So, okay, so I think that Prime Minister Netanyahu is trying to suggest that there's more alignment, but I think Israel is not going to be satisfied with anything other than full regime change, right? So when he adds that either full regime change or until they're sufficiently weakened, is because he understands that if they're sufficiently weakened, it will lead to regime change anyways, right? I mean, I think Prime Minister Netanyahu wants to kind of show that they're willing to, to the American, I think the audience for this is the American public, right? Like, we are as flexible as the Americans. Like, we're not gonna we're also okay with the option A or option B. Like, we're flexible here. But I think the reason why he's communicating that is because as long as we're hitting the Islamic Republic, we're hitting the Islamic Republic. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be, because if you would rather have something happening against the Islamic Republic than not. So you can't be picky and basically want to 100% communicate with everybody that you do not accept anything other than regime change, right? So, for example, let's say, I need Ali's help to, I don't know, move. I need a lot of help for him. Like, I need him to come and help me with a lot of stuff. But Ali says, like, listen, I only have, 20 minutes tops to be able to help you, right? I really want him to help me a lot more, but I'm going to say, like, sure, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you have. Just hoping that once we get there, maybe we could do more, right? But as like I'm not going to say, like, no, only 2 hours. While he's there, I'm just going to play with the 20 and 30 minutes. And once he's there, I'm hoping that once he's there, he's not going to notice how much time. You know what I mean? Like, when you're talking, you have to show that you're flexible. And then once you're in it, you could gain more.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, if you're hitting the Islamic Republic, you're hitting the Islamic Republic. But I don't think Israel will be satisfied with anything other than full regime change. And I don't think they will stop until we have full regime change. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because they're much closer. I mean, they're much closer, and they pose a direct threat to them much more than mainland America.
Because for them, the Islamic Republic is not. It's not about, like, oh, we need to. It's an existential crisis. It's not about, like, a principle. It's not about sending a message. It's not just about that. It's about survival. So
Exactly.
Israel cannot allow the Islamic Republic to survive. It's just irresponsible to every Israeli citizen if you want anything short of full regime change.
Correct. Let's take a listen to what he has to say in this clip.
You're getting set to travel to the U.S. to meet with President Trump and then attend the funeral services of Senator Lindsey Graham. Prime Minister, what can you tell us about any fresh?
By the way, guys, she just said also visit or attend the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham. I can never say that. By the way, we still don't have the toxicology reports from Senator Lindsey Graham's death. It's being withheld. I'm just going to say that and leave you guys with that piece of information.
What are you
Still
suggesting?
do not have. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying they're still not out. The toxicology reports are still not out. Usually they're done within 24 hours.
New intelligence that you may have about that nuclear program that you are about to present President Trump with?
Well, first, let me say that Lindsey Graham is a terrible loss. He was such a great friend, such a champion of America and a patriot, and such a champion of the Israeli-American alliance. He believed in the benefits that Israel gives to the United States in terms of intel, weapons technology. And of course, we appreciated very much all the help that we got from the United States. So he was an extraordinary American patriot, and we miss him greatly. As far as the nuclear program, we constantly exchange information. Our intel services and yours are working so close together that it's not that I'm going to present new information, but I think it's a good thing to have the opportunity to sit with our good friend, President Trump, and to hear what he has in mind, because I think in many ways it's his decision. But let me say one thing.
It's his decision. So he's not going to present any new information. He just wants to see what Donald Trump is thinking and feeling. So again, guys, Benjamin Netanyahu today convened a security meeting, the location of which was completely confidential and secure. Who attended is completely also unknown. It was held at the highest level of government in Israel, complete secrecy. And tomorrow, Benjamin Netanyahu will come to the United States. Could it be a ploy? Could it be getting some updated information? We usually do see right before February 28th, the war or anything significant. Donald Trump is a very big proponent of liking to talk to his allies face to face to give them information. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
we'll have press statements from them on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Prime Minister Netanyahu, when they meet, is not about intelligence sharing. I mean, sometimes Prime Minister Netanyahu shared intelligence with President Trump, not because, I mean, their intelligence or agencies are already connected with each other, but sometimes it's a lot more meaningful when you talk about it to the president directly, or if you hand deliver it and you talk about it when you do it. And, I think you get a lot when you meet face to face and try to understand in person where somebody is at, more than you can when you are far away. So I think that's the utility of meeting directly. But also remember one more time, everybody, this could also be a misdirection so that the Islamic Republic doesn't, it could be that they're planning an attack and they're trying to get the Islamic Republic to get its guards down.
Yeah.
It could be that.
It could be. So, speaking of the ceasefire, earlier we talked about it for a second, and I actually want to show you guys the price of oil. I wish we could pull up the clip of us talking about this. I think it was exactly 3 days ago. So 3 days ago, we were at $100 per barrel. And when we reached that, I told you guys specifically, we're back in the range of the 40-day war where oil prices shot up to 114 maximum. We're back in that territory. So if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 2 days. And lo and behold, in the next 2 days, we had this with these, talks again come out. And guess what? Price of oil is back down to 90, dropped down $10. So took a little dive here, right? And couple of days. It's very interesting how the markets work here. And that's why I largely always say, let's follow this, because if a huge spike up, you know that something's going to happen to drive that oil price back down. And largely, it's not a bad idea.
Isn't that drop in response to President Trump announcing that they're not going to attack? That there's a delay?
This? Yeah, this, that the talks are back on. The Islamic Republic is also confirming this, which we'll talk about. Yeah. Shoots back down $10. Huge drop. So the foreign ministry spokesperson, Baghi, also came out from the Islamic Republic and said, yeah, we're talking to the Americans. We're actually exchanging messages behind the scenes. And then he went on his usual BS of saying, you know, we don't accept any of this. The U.S. can't bully us, this and that. So I took away from that, which is they are talking. They're exchanging some messages, probably Witkoff and Kushner, as per usual. You know, I'm not going to say anything about that, but yeah. So we can take a look at the cycle of this conflict, actually, now that you guys have this information. Make this image bigger for you guys. Take a look at this. All right, guys, so you are here in the top left, which is right now we're about to hear some more fake Israel-US rift. And after that, we get more bombings, we get confusing messaging, then we get a troop buildup and rift. And this is generally, it's missing a couple steps here, but you guys get the idea of this never-ending cycle of Axios coming out and saying Netanyahu this, Trump that, they hate each other. Then you have, 13 days of bombings that just happened, confusing messaging, more troop buildup. These can happen pretty fast or pretty slow. What do you think about this cycle that we're in? We've been here before. We've seen messages like this before.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, we are either going to be stuck in this cycle until basically this for the Islamic Republic to eventually fall with death by 1,000 cuts, or they're going to do what we're suggesting and just go and finish the job, right? So, but either way, the regime is going to fall. The issue we have with this cycle is that it's taking too long. We could, if we keep doing this, we could be in a multi-year. Remember how, if I don't know when, like a few months ago, I said like this could look like the Russia-Ukraine war, like 4 years from now, 5 years from now, we're talking about this and we're still in it. If we're gonna do this, this is gonna drag on, and it could take a long time, like a long time. But again, even in this cycle, the Islamic Republic will fall. But unless you break the cycle and you just do a major operation and just take out everything that the Islamic Republic has left, like not the third layer, the fourth layer, the fifth layer, all the layers, like all the layers of the Islamic Republic, and then all the checkpoints, all the Basiji centers, all the IRGC centers, every single thing that they have left. You just go in, you give it all you got. And you know what? If you do that, you don't even need interceptors that much, because there's not going to be, you're not going to even give it. There's nobody. Here's what you do. You're short on interceptors. That's fine. Kill everybody. Exactly. There's nobody to order. There's nobody to order anymore. And when I say kill everybody, I'm not talking about the heads of IRGC. I'm also talking about the 32 provincial IRGC commanders, right? Because like, if you kill, there's other layers. Here's an idea. Take out those layers. Take out all the layers. They're like, you can't do this because if you take the next layer, there's another layer that comes out. There's 7 layers deep. Okay, how about this? Take out all the 7 layers. You know who they are. Why are you peeling onions? Just destroy the onion.
Unleash the Jews.
Unleash the
Do
Jews.
it.
Yes.
Unleash the Jews. Have them go at it.
And the Ukrainians and the Iranians.
So it's just a funny cycle, but you're right, it could take that long. The cycle as I see it is also Trump is pretty feisty, and he comes out and says a lot of things. So True Social post that we just saw, he spammed like 20 of them, and he comes out and says, you know, they're sick psychos, this and that. He says that. Then Axios or other New York Times says, hey, we're talking again. The U.S. and Islamic Republic are talking again. Then we get the Trump and Bibi aren't seeing eye to eye. Then we get the, hey, we're running out of munitions. We don't have missile interceptors. And then, hey, escalation's coming. It's imminent. It's coming. Fox News starts being like, hey, we got, you know, we're about to destroy the power plants. And they pull up a screen of the power plants in Iran. They're like, we're going to strike this one. We're going to strike that one. It's just things that we've seen before, which all indicate dragging out of this conflict. Now, is it, you know, how many times is this going to happen before the enemy is lulled into a false sense of security? I don't know. Or is it really going to take that long?
The regime, here's what the regime is doing. The regime, some parts of the regime thinks that they have this because they think that they are being successful at dragging this out and buying time. And some people think that if they just make it to the midterms, then the Democrats are going to win during the midterms, and they will stop Trump after that. They have the power of the purse. They could keep impeaching President Trump over and over again. So all they have to do is just drag this out until the midterms. And then they're going to have their allies, which is the Democrats in DC, taking charge, and they're going to basically stop it. That's the game that they're playing.
That's so tragic that you have to say that. They're allies. The allies of the Islamic Republic, the Democrats. What a sad statement to hear as an American here. It's terrible. We're going to get into the Iran-related news and in the internal workings of it. But before that happens, we're going to show you guys a joke about your most favorite, is it House or is it Congressman? Your favorite congressman in the United States of America. Let's take a listen here at what Donald Trump has to say about this person.
California's policies of enabling wildfires, paying drug addicts to be homeless, giving free sex changes to illegals, and telling rich people they're going to take away, all of your money is going to be taken away. People are fleeing, and they're fleeing in droves. We can't have that in this country. It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. The video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI. And they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her
Husband number one. Yeah, I think so. Looks like Islam is evolving for women to have multiple husbands as well as this point. And with that, we can see a bit more of US humor, perhaps a little bit more, I don't know what to call this one really, juvenile. If you guys can't read what that says on the side of that US missile, count yourselves lucky. But this is a picture from a missile that was dropped on the Islamic Republic in March. And on the side of this missile, I think a US Air Force member thought it was pretty funny to write DICK and BUTT on the side of this missile before dropping it down the shaft of the bay doors, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So I wanted to have you guys see that as well. Now, to get into some serious news in the Islamic Republic, if we look into Tehran here, we can see a town outside of the capital, a city here called Varamin. Vladimir been subject to some pretty intense and heavy bombings during the 40-day war and well after it. Well, something a little unusual happened in this town tonight. Someone or some organization perhaps set the police station headquarters on fire, and it turned out to be a pretty big fire. The whole thing is pretty much on flames and burning pretty heavily there. So officials don't know who did it. Officials think it might be a gas leak. We're not too sure. What do you guys think? Gas leak? Probably gas leak, my opinion.
Probably gas.
Guys, by gas leak, for anyone who doesn't know, gas leaks are when Mossad, CIA, Immortal Guard, Iranian people set fire or try to assassinate people in the Islamic Republic, and we call them gas leaks because the Islamic Republic calls them gas leaks legit. There were no gas leaks, by the way. When I lived in Iran, there were no gas leaks. When Armin lived in Iran, no gas leaks. All of a sudden, right after January, gas leaks.
All the gas leaks.
There's hundreds of all the gas leaks. All the gas pipes they're old, they're rusty, they're bursting. I don't know what's going on. some weird events there, all at the same time. Another thing we saw coming out of the Islamic Republic is that the father-in-law of Mojtaba Khamenei came out and gave a little headline here going across the newspapers in Iran. He said that, listen, I know I'm the father-in-law of the supreme leader. I actually have no idea. I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is. No one's talked to him. He doesn't have any connection to anyone or anywhere. But God willing, he is healthy. That's drawing many people to believe that that man be dead. That, along with Araghchi coming out, the foreign minister, in an interview last week saying, yeah, the foreign leader is pretty much just a decoration piece, is just more and more evidence the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic is DED. We also have news in the west of the country. So the Kurdish separatists have never really fully given up on their offensive on the IRGC and on this border town of Piranshah, which has been a war zone for the past couple of weeks with a recent ceasefire between the IRGC and Kurdish separatists. Saw yet again another assassination that a senior intelligence officer of the IRGC, Hamid Bagherzadeh, of the IRGC Intel Unit 124, was killed by an attack of Kurdish opposition forces last night. For all I care, they can take each other out. No problem there, for me in particular. What about you, Armin? Do you mind if the Kurdish separatists and the IRGC duke it out? What do you think?
No, have at it. By the way, I just want to be clear, guys. When we're against the Kurdish separatists, we're not anti-Kurdish. I saw somebody mentioning that, oh, Armin is anti-Kurd. We are not anti-Kurd. Like, I don't know how to make it more clear. We are extremely pro-Kurd. That's why we're anti-Kurdish separatist groups, because the Kurdish people in Iran are anti-Kurdish separatist groups. We are supporting the Kurdish Iranians. So I don't know how to make that any more clear that we're not anti-Kurdish people. We're anti-separatist groups in support of Iranian people, including Kurdish Iranian people.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what Prince Reza Pahlavi is up to up in Paris, France here. He has met with the president of let me play this video for you guys before I check
Iran,
this.
my friend Reza Pahlavi, and we discussed our hope of freedom and liberation of the long-suffering Iranian people who are starving for freedom.
Yes, so this is the president of the Jewish Congress, Worldwide Jewish Congress. And he met with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi on the left there, who is the leader of the Iranian opposition. And they exchanged those two little scrolls you see in his hand. One is going to be for the Israeli embassy in Tehran, and the other for the Iranian embassy in Tel Aviv when Iran is free. So we're seeing some ties being made there, and personally, that's great. I love to see that. Some meetings behind the scenes here. Sorry, what was that?
No, I said that's great.
It's great. It's great. And with that, let's segue a little bit over, and by a little bit, I mean way over here. Let's go into the Shandong province of China, to Qingdao. And on the beaches of Qingdao, right here, we saw something I was a little shocked, personally. Maybe some of you will think about Big Brother when you watch this. Here we can see a Chinese beach, and we can see a Chinese man get into the water. Above in the air, you can see a drone. The drone is telling the man, by flashing lights on him repeatedly, to get the hell out of the water. There is a night curfew, and along with the police here controlling that drone, hey, you cannot swim at night here. And that has sparked some statements worldwide about governmental control on what people can or can't do. What do you guys think? Is that a little bit of a Big Brother episode, in your opinion? I think you're muted a little bit. What type of control?
Can you play it with
Play it
audio?
again? Of course, yeah.
Yeah, with audio. Yeah.
看看这人，他就不上来。就不上来。
Now, I'm not really sure why the police are operating it here instead of just going to him and telling him to get out. But hey, all right then. I mean, what would you do if the government flashed drone lights over your head and told you to get out of the ocean? You can't swim there. It's actually illegal to do that. It's past curfew, by the way. Get out. What is your country come to?
I don't know. Too much involvement. This nanny state, basically. I'm like, okay, if you want to be my mom, can the drone follow me home and, you know, tuck me in bed and read me a story? I mean, if you want to be a mom to me, then follow me, like do the full thing. Tuck me in and read me a story as well. You can't be you can't just do the negative parts and not the positive parts, right? Are you gonna come watch me play soccer? Right? Are you gonna show up? Like, what are you gonna cook for me, feed me? Like, yeah.
We're not too far away from having robot nannies in the sort.
Okay.
And if you listen to Elon Musk's words, you won't really need money in about 10 years, because why would you need money if the goods and services you need are pretty much so abundant, they're free? Now, if we go quickly back over to the president of the Jewish Congress and Prince Reza Pahlavi, one thing I did fail to mention here, I totally forgot to tell you guys, is actually in addition to them meeting and speaking about freeing the Iranian people, etc., here's the important part. The important part, I missed it. I don't know why. There is a now new Iran Peace and Prosperity Fund, which is going to be a global private investment fund designed to mobilize international businesses and capital to rebuild Iran's economy starting from minute zero. The second the Iranian regime, the Islamic Republic, falls, a new Iran will have Jewish companies, I'm assuming, come in to aid and assist, which is approved by Prince Reza Pahlavi here in his meeting. So that was the important takeaway from that. We can see behind the scenes, he's still working really hard to secure the prosperity of the Iranian nation, just like his father on the right and his grandfather on the left there. Today is the 47th anniversary of Reza Shah's death. So was that Reza Shah's death? And we would like to highlight some of the key things that the Pahlavi kings did for our country. Before the man on the left stepped into fray, our country was largely ruled by incompetent idiots named the Qajar dynasty, who were completely content with selling off pieces of Iran and were very, very incompetent in managing the country. With the introduction of the man on the left here, Reza Shah I, who rose through the ranks of the Cossack cavalry brigade and fought valiantly for the Iranians, he managed to, through his superior intellect and foresight, become the king of Iran, and subsequently started becoming the developer of Iran. So Reza Shah, the great builder as well, developed the major railroads of Iran from north to south and east to west, modernizing the country, taking people away from small villages and putting them to cities, educating them, largely continued by his son on the right, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, as well. These two men, their foresight and ability was much, much ahead of their time. We truly did not deserve them. And we have paid for the fact that we did not see their greatness. You guys can see just how much we're paying for it. Yeah, I like this picture. It's one of the times where, one of the few pictures of Mohammad Reza Shah on the right here, smiling.
That's Iran right there, by the way.
Yeah.
If there was any picture, guys, if there was any picture that would represent Iran the most in one frame, it would be this.
Absolutely. Armin, what was your, like, when you think about Pahlavi, what do you think? When you think the king of Iran, what do you think?
Prosperity.
And prosperity follows what?
Peace,
Liberty.
stability, well-being, liberty. Yeah, that's good. Wow.
Which is liberty politics right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, please remember, we'll take a second and just remind you to subscribe to both of our channels, to both Ali Samani and Liberty Politics. We're here every single day. We give you the best information on Iran on the internet. We cover every single thing, and we focus on the internal workings of the Islamic Republic. So if you ever have a question, pop in the chat, you ask us, you're going to get your best answer in probably both Farsi and English at this point, actually. What a great picture. What a great, great picture. So with that, I am going to gather up the last of the alligrams, which are the IRGC supporters and their group chats. I go and take a look at them and see what they say. I'm going to grab a couple of more of those to show you guys. And while I do that, Armin, would you like to show anything in particular, or should we read the super chats?
No, let's do the super chats.
Let's do the super chats. Can you start us off, please?
Okay. All right. So Noah, the Persian American, saying, "Are you having a group today, Ali?" Just wondering. Yes. Ali, you're going to be in the discussion group today, right? So
yes, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Guys, it's free to join. Just come talk to me. I don't record it. I don't stream it. It's just meant for me to get your guys' thoughts on what's going on in case I missed something or asking me questions. It's just an open discussion. And we have this on School. So the link in the description or that picture in the top left, if you scan that, but it's probably easier to click on the link, right? So just join that. It's on school.com. It's free to join. Armin has this every single day. I don't know how you do it.
So, yeah. Well, I don't know either, actually. But yeah, guys, it's free to join. And Ali's segments are free to you could go and talk to him over there. So the link is in there. So when you go join our discussion group, you could either just click on the link at the first page, which takes you to the next group call, or you could just go to the calendar and you can see Ali's group call is the one that is coming up next. And then you could join there and you could go talk to him and other people over there. Thank you, Noah.
Yes.
And
Thank you, Noah,
And
for
we
the
have
super chat. I'll be
channel.
there.
Oh my god, Google thinks I'm talking to. All right, so channel 0071 with a super chat saying, "Getting my Ali Armin addiction fixed." Oh, oh, thank you, channel 007.
It's very
Appreciate
kind of
that.
you.
That's very sweet. That's very good. And then we have that cuckoo guy with a super chat saying, "How the hell Israel not part of this?" What does that stand for? The rest of that WDYGT.
Why do
Why?
you GT?
Okay.
I don't know. What's the G, guys?
Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I know, right? I agree. Here's one theory. One theory might be is that they want the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf to join in. So the Arab countries are very sensitive about joining a military operation when Israel is also in there, because then the Arab countries are fighting on the same side of the Israel against an Islamic regime, which doesn't look good for their internal population. But honestly, I think losing Israel to gain the Arab countries is not a good deal. I don't know. Yeah, but that's just one theory. So that, by the way, Ali got to confetti and I didn't. Wow, Ali got to confetti
What?
earlier than me
serious?
today. Wow.
Oh my God.
Everybody has betrayed me. How could you do this, guys? No.
Guys, that's great
okay.
news.
What's happening? Ali just started and he's getting into his confetti more than before.
Guys, I just started
What the hell?
YouTube on May 1st. Which has been insane, by the way. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Crazy. It's just that, yeah, I've been betrayed. I've been betrayed by my people. They all abandoned me. Thank you, guys.
Whoops. Guys, let's make sure we get Armin to 10.
No, I'm just kidding. Tractor 6619 is saying, U.S. idiots made a simple task into a regional war. What do you think about? I mean, I wouldn't call them idiots. I mean, at the end of the day, the President Trump has done more to damage the Islamic Republic than any U.S. president ever has. This has been the most successful military operation in modern military warfare. The amount of damage inflicted on a regime in such a short amount of time has been very, very significant. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's always mistakes in every military operation, but I don't know if it's fair for us, with all the intelligence and all the limitations, to suggest that there's definitely a better way to have done this. You know, I'm sure that, like, from outside, things look a lot more simple than when you're actually doing it. There's like a lot of times, like, war seems like a video game that you just press a button and things blow up. There's so much operation, there's so much logistic, there's so many political limitation, there's so many, operational and logistic limitations, there's so many economic limitation, then there are so many allies that have contradictory goals and red lines that you have to take into account. Everything looks a lot more simple from outside. Everything is so much more difficult and complicated once you actually get to do it. So I don't know if it was as easy as simple as it seems to the rest of us. And thank you for the super chat. So this Jew-hating person is saying, Rebecca was 3 and Isaac was 40. Can you please look at? So this guy is lying to you. I actually looked this up. He's trying to give you a biblical verse that should suggest that the Torah was endorsing child marriage. I looked into this. So the full text of this verse that this person is suggesting actually does the opposite of what he's saying. It's the opposite. I actually didn't know this, right? So this is the full text of Mishnah Nida 5, chapter 5, verse 4, which is an basically ancient code that is defining the legal threshold of physical acts. So this person is a Muslim, and his prophet raped a 9-year-old. So he's so butthurt that the whole world knows that his prophet was a child abuser. So he's trying to say that Judaism teaches that, even though it doesn't, his religion does. The passage that he's referring to, if you actually look into it, explicitly decrees capital punishment for the act that he thinks that it's endorsing. It's saying basically the adult abuser who assaults the child needs to be executed. That's what that passage says. So it's the opposite of his suggesting. So the reason why a lot of people misrepresent that is because that verse. I mean, I'm an atheist, so I have no dog in this gun. Like, I'm not, I don't need to defend Judaism as a religion, but I do want to be honest. This verse does not do the thing that this person says. In this verse, the child victim, is declared the victim, the blameless victim from what has happened. It's not saying this act is like okay, for example. It's saying basically a child is a victim. So basically people are saying reading clinical definitions of crime as endorsement is a complete So this guy is definitely misrepresenting what's happening here.
Yeah, that guy's just an idiot.
Rebecca was not 3 years old. But I do want to read the this hadith from Islam, from Aisha herself. Aisha, in a Sahih hadith, said this: the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage with her when she was 9 years old. Okay, so this is in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. So go look that up. So unlike what this person is saying, and it's pretty clear, like what he's saying is a misrepresentation. And if you read the text, it doesn't say that. He comes up with his own interpretation. But if you read Islamic hadith, it's pretty clear, like it's in black and white. Aisha saying multiple times that Muhammad raped her when she was 9 years old. Okay, so Justin, thank you so much for the super chat, saying no, it's misdirection. If we really were running low on Patriot missiles, we would never say it. The question is, why misdirection for big operations or delay? Well, they didn't say it. So you could argue that this is a purposeful leak, but they didn't actually come out and say it. But they are actually low on some defense munitions. Some of them, they are actually low. Not low enough for dealing with the Islamic Republic, but low enough to deal with the Islamic Republic and a potential other war happening at the same time. That is actually true. They are uncomfortably low. In case multiple wars happen at the same time. But if this still might be a misdirection, but they didn't announce it. It might be a misdirection in the sense that they leaked it on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, I have finished gathering the allegrams. So that's when we go into the IRGC group chats, we grab some of their political supporters' discussion points, show you guys. So let's take a look at our first one here. Sometimes it's surprising. Some of them really have like similar thoughts to what we do sometimes, and they kind of realize the same thing. So again, I'll show you guys in Farsi first, and then we'll use our translator. It's roughly correct. Vahid Naderi is saying, I think again that Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian are negotiating with America. There's been no news of any conflict for 2 nights. Oh, are they now? Armin, are they negotiating? Isn't that I thought the Islamic Republic said, you know, we would never negotiate with the Americans, death to America. And now it's becoming so regular for them to talk about it that this guy's just coming out and
Yeah, I mean,
say it, right?
they never stop talking. Even when they say that they're not talking, they're always talking. They're talking on WhatsApp. They like, I think Arokchi and Witkoff and Arokchi are on WhatsApp with each other all the time.
Yeah, they are. It's just interesting to me, guys. Again, some of these messages are just meant for you to get the general gauge, the temperature reading of the Islamic Republic supporters. And here's the thing: they don't actually attack them for negotiating with the Americans anymore. It's over the last 3,000 or 4,000 messages over the last 2 days that I've read. They're not really attacking Position Ghalibaf for talking to the Americans. They're attacking them for how they're talking to the Americans. So it's just a strange little shift in their strategy. We have our next one here. Put that in Farsi for you guys first. Here's the English. So PM is saying, despite a couple of facts, okay, so keep a couple of facts in mind. One, keep Pezeshkian's IQ in mind and the influence of Zarif, Araqchi, Rouhani, and Khatami on Pezeshkian, okay? So he's saying Pezeshkian's really stupid and he's being controlled by some other people. And then keep in mind 2.2, Ghalibaf and his advisors, their IQ, saying that Ghalibaf's smart. One must then naturally believe in the miracle of the 12th Imam and the preservation of Iran by his hands. So this guy's making fun of not only the Islamic Republic's government, but also their Shia 12er ideology there. So and I think you'll get a better kick out of this if you read it in Farsi.
با وجود ضریب هوشی پزشکیان و نفوذ ظریف عراقچی و روحانی و خاتمی بر او و آیکیو غالیباف و مشاورینش باید به معجزه وجود امام زمان و حفظ ایران به دست ایشان ایمان آورد. So this is a regime supporter who's saying that these people like the Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian and these people that he doesn't like who are negotiating with the Americans to be so like IQ that this by itself is proof of the Mahdi to be a real thing, because nothing else would be able to protect Iran other than the spiritual protection of Mahdi on Iran, because these people are so stupid that it's a miracle that the Islamic Republic is still standing. That's what this guy is saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have our next one by Reza here, responding to another person. And he is saying, he's actually kind of mad. He's saying, now Iran has had the upper hand, attacking 10 countries single-handedly, or America that had to send the Iraqi prime minister to come and beg us, the Islamic Republic, for a ceasefire because their gas prices went up. So we, the Islamic Republic, super strong, destroy everyone. The Americans have to come and beg us for a ceasefire here. The Middle East is also not exporting oil and energy. Eastern and Western countries are not exporting fertilizer, and America's strategic reserves have reached their lowest point. The global price of oil is trading above $100. What Reza fails to realize here is that Mr. Trump can simply say and do whatever he wants and lower that price of oil, and it's back down at $90. This is meant to showcase to you guys the utter delusion of some of these Islamic Republic supporters who think that attacking 10 countries is them having the upper hand, even though it turned all 10 of those countries away from the Islamic Republic and into the open and waiting arms of the U.S. Reza is just unfortunately one of those fools that you might not be able to change his mind ever. And there's quite a lot of them. There's a lot of these people. Oh, we might be getting some breaking news soon. Anyway, I'm going to keep it. Okay, well, we don't know if that's verified, but I'll keep an eye on it for a second. Some reports of explosions, but I don't think those are going to be anything substantial. We'll see. Our next one is this one. You can always see some laughing emojis there in Farsi. This guy is responding to someone else who's saying that the economic situation is a result of the people who voted for it. So like the people, it's because of the people's choice that voted for this government. This guy's saying, bro, don't kid yourself. You think the situation is like this is because of Pezeshkian and other things? Did you think that everything was great when Raisi was president or he was in power? Every bad thing that your supreme leader did, he always blamed the government and said the government did this and that, and you believed him. This is a very, very telling statement. I'll put it back in Farsi if you'd like to read that. What this guy is essentially saying is that what the Islamic Republic always does is whenever things go south, the supreme leader says, I didn't want that to happen. I had a different opinion on that matter that blew up in my face. I was convinced by the president or the minister of this and that. So how is this time any different? This guy's saying, was everything always this way? Don't you guys see you've always done this? And we have our next one by Mahdi Lou. Here it is in Farsi. It's a little bit lengthier here. Make sure we capture that for anyone who wants to read that. And now, this guy's going to be making fun of Pezeshkian. So he's saying, did Pezeshkian come from England or Israel? Were Rouhani, Ahmadinejad, some of the previous presidents? Was he saying, weren't the previous presidents not Mossad agents? Isn't it interesting? Because they were doing such a bad job. All of them were approved by the Guardian Council, which the supreme leader himself handpicks. Whoa, so you're saying the supreme leader potentially picks some Mossad agents to be president? Interesting. If the Pezeshkian had a problem, the Guardian Council was slandered for approving them. So people are saying, you guys might be attacking the president, Pezeshkian, for this, but who do you think put him there? Who do you think approved him to be the president? It was the Guardian Council. And who's the Guardian Council picked by? The supreme leader. So they're saying if Rouhani and all these presidents were not approved by the supreme leader, then they kind of commit treason, right? So you're actually you're making a mistake by not putting these people on trial, these presidents of the Islamic Republic on trial. A lot of talk like this has been coming out, particularly that, hey, what's the order of power here? Didn't the supreme leader do this or say that or pick this? Where is he? Why is he not saying anything? What are the presidents doing? What's going on? We don't understand. We have our next one here. Let's make sure we get that full there. And Said is saying, at what price are you willing to sell your homeland out? And he's a regime supporter, hardcore one. He's going to say, when we were moving towards peace and we're ready to receive our frozen assets, the terrorist IRGC carried out an operation in the Strait of Hormuz, firing on 3 ships that were from neighboring Persian Gulf countries, not American, not even American ships. And that violated the MOU and created severe insecurity in the region. You are traitors to your homeland. You're a traitor to the homeland. You have raised your homeland to the ground because of your wrong ideology of Shia Islam. So this person, it looks like he could be either, it's kind of hard to tell. Is he more of the Iranian People side or is he an IRGC supporter? I think he's more of an IRGC Islamic Republic supporter who's sick and tired of the IRGC and what's been happening with Shia Islam, because he is in this group chat and he is pretty active. I've seen his messages a little bit here. But who knows? Maybe he's an Iranian person who is trying to plant some discord amongst the regime supporters. If that's the case, then, Said, go for it. I'm all for it. I, for one, am just starting to see that the IRGC are being attacked a little bit more and questioned a little bit more, especially in this very pro-IRGC group. And our last allogram for today, it's a little bit too tiny. Let me zoom in. There we go. And this one is by Mahdi Lu, saying, someone responded and said the protests were completely controlled by the Islamic Republic. Then they spewed out of control, and then Mossad and Pahlavi and all these, terrorists came in and incited them. This guy's responding saying, no, that's not the case. The protests in January and everywhere afterwards by the people are actually not because of Mossad and this and that. So he says, weren't protests also held in 2017, 2018, 2019? I mean, in afterwards as well. I'm not going to read the next message because it's a little bit, slanderous there. But he's basically saying that the protests have happened for actually about 2 decades at this point. Was Reza Pahlavi there then? Was he giving command, 15 years ago for the people to come out? No, he wasn't. Was Reza Pahlavi responsible, or is it the IRGC responsible that slaughtered the youth of the people to protect their own government? Then he gives them a lot more, profanities, and says, you guys support the murder of thousands of young people like this because of an ineffective government. I mean, isn't that exactly true? Is it Reza Pahlavi's fault for calling people and giving them direction, or is it the IRGC's fault for killing them? What do you think?
I wonder, is it the fault of the people who
want a better life,
point their machine guns at people and kill them in in huge numbers, or is Princess of Pahlavi reflecting what the Iranian people are shouting themselves and amplifying the voice that they already have and accepting their demand for his leadership, accepting their demand for Prince Reza Pahlavi to just say what the Iranian people are saying and just amplifying it to themselves and the rest of the world. But Prince Reza Pahlavi says is not what he says. What Prince Reza Pahlavi says is the voice of the Iranian people amplified. Prince Reza Pahlavi doesn't make up anything himself. He's just the amplification method that the Iranian people have used to get their voice out there to themselves and to the rest of the world. So when Princess of Pahlavi is speaking, you're not hearing Princess of Pahlavi. You're hearing the Iranian people and Princess of Pahlavi accepting the responsibility of being their voice because they have demanded that of him.
Well said. That's why the people have to come out first, then Prince Reza Pahlavi gives direction afterwards. With that, let's finish off the super chats here. And the next one is by Joanne, saying, do you guys know anything about the drones that Russia sent to Romania? I think they tried to attack them. Yeah, I think that's actually, I think it was like the 5th or 6th drone that Romania has had to shoot down. I mean, they're not the only ones. The Czech Republic, Poland, Russia's been sending some Shahed drones to these countries in a sort of provocation to get them involved in the war, to escalate the Russia-Ukraine war, to threaten Europe with nuclear weapons, kind of what the Europeans are thinking the strategy is here, and they're trying not to fall for these provocations by the Russian Federation. That's my best answer, Joanne. Thank you. Craig, thank you for the jewels. Appreciate that. And Fleshy is saying, evening, all.
Evening.
To you. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Fleshy.
And Fizz Andresis is saying the United States is waiting for after Amu Lindsay's funeral. Oh man, I don't really see a reason for them to.
You know what? Amu Lindsay would be proud if they use his funeral as a misdirection. I think if Amu Lindsay could ever find out that his funeral was used as a way to misdirect the Islamic Republic, he would be He would be very happy. Do you agree?
What I was
think he would
thinking
be
is,
proud.
yeah, what I was thinking is he would be really happy to have his funeral as the starter for the strikes on the Islamic Republic. And then Trump goes on to make a speech and he's like, as Lindsay wanted, as he told me, he told me, Donald, if anything happened to me, you have to do it. At my funeral, you give the speech, order the strikes, just do it. I think that's what he would probably say. Thank you, Physendricist. I'm kidding. Kidding, by the way.
But I think somebody in the chat was asking, Armin, are you okay? Or like, who is it? Like, yeah, guys, thank you for your concern. Where is it? Look at this. It's so sweet. I'll tell you, like, Armin, are you doing okay, Armin? And then I says, like, yes, thank you. And she's like, Amber, she's like, okay, good. Yeah, guys, sorry if I like, this is my last stream. I started streaming 9 hours ago. Okay. So by the end of this show, we're going to be like around, 9 hours ago, I started streaming back to back today. So I'm going to give it, like, I tried to give it my all. Okay. But like, just forgive me if this is my last stream of the day, but this is why Ali is doing the heavy work here. So thank you. And Amber, you're a sweetheart. Thank you.
And even then, I mean, you still contribute so much every single time. Guys, even after Armin streams for 8 hours and then joins our stream, he still managed to give his 100%.
Thank you.
Everyone thank Armin, please. In the chat, just be like, Armin,
No,
you're the
no,
best.
no.
Armin, thank you so
No,
much.
no,
You've been doing
stop
this
it.
forever.
No. Let's get back to this.
The next super chat is from Fleshy saying, Ghalibaf fooled Trump twice. He is not reasonable and he is not in charge. He's not completely in charge. Nope. You're right.
Wait, Ghalibaf fooled Trump twice? I think it's the other way around.
It's probably the other way around, though. Ghalibaf is being used by Trump. Ghalibaf is doing his best to use Trump, and he is to a large extent the American threat of soldiers and bombs hanging over their heads, but he's not in any position of bargaining or leverage here. It's pretty much just, hey, Ghalibaf, you're our best guy at the moment. You're not, we can take you out whenever we want, so you better do what we say. Yeah. But no, Ghalibaf is neither reasonable nor is he completely in charge. Nor is he probably as smart as he
might be reasonable. He might be reasonable. He might be smart. Okay. Evil. He's kind of smart, to be fair. He's evil, but he's smart. But he's also been, he doesn't have a lot to play with. Like, I do think he's being used by President Trump very effectively, to be honest, even though he's smart.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving him compliments. I mean, like, don't give him compliments. He's evil, okay? And don't underestimate your enemy. He has successfully, so far at least, defeated all of his competition within the Islamic Republic. I mean, he might be flying too close to the sun and come down crashing. But do not, if you underestimate your enemy, then I know a lot of people are motivated to say, like, all of these people are, dumb idiots. But, and I know that sells, but it comes, if you underestimate your enemy, it comes at a cost. These people use idiots. They're not idiots. They use idiots. They use a lot of like jihadi minded, Islamic minded, but if they're in power, they must be doing something right. If they're in power, they're evil, but they're smart.
They use idiots pretty well. Those idiots are the problem, really.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fleshy, for that super chat. Very much appreciate it as always. And Rod, thank you for the jewels.
Thank you.
Neo has said, Armin, thank you for your hard work to hold truth. Exactly, guys. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. No. Stop.
Thank you so much, Neo. I absolutely agree.
You,
and he's not the only one. Neo is also joined by Grant, who says, thank you, and Ali and Armin. I appreciate your daily posts.
Thank you. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I mean, Ali is doing the hard work.
Thank you, Armin. Mr. Navabi, thank you.
Oh my God, stop. He's doing that on purpose to make you uncomfortable. Jesus.
Thank you,
Thank
Grant. And Fleshy Interloper says, no confetti without alligrams. Of course. I know from now on, if I don't give you guys the alligrams, I'm put on the chopping block. You know, oops. Thank you, Fleshy. You know, it's honestly
Thank
like people like you guys in the chat that remind me or put more importance on certain things of our show. So I know, hey, let's put some more time going through the messages of the Islamic Republic supporters and grab those for you guys. So it's all you guys. Thank you. Nollybug is saying, President Trump, please listen to Armin. If they just hired you as an advisor, they would conduct psychological warfare at a level no one's ever seen.
I'm sure they have already the best experts in intelligence. Here's the thing, guys. I don't think that there's any lack of information that, you know, it's just that there's politics, right? And so, for example, like U.S. intelligence have everything that these people need. These people know the inside and outside of how the Islamic Republic works, who's who, the history of every person. They have experts on all of this, right? But when it comes to different politicians making decisions, you know, just because you have the intelligence and you have the reports and they put it on your desk, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to read it, right? You could be a U.S. politician and you see a report from the CIA on your desk, and then you see a report on your constituents and what they want, and which one do you think I'm going to read? Like if I'm like a senator and there's a report by the CIA on my desk telling like this is the detailed information on the issue, like on what's the weakness of the Islamic Republic and how we could like do this and this and that. There's another report and say like this is how you're gonna get reelected, right? Like which one do you think? If I'm a senator, which one do you think I'm gonna read? We'll read the second one, right?
Yep.
No.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nollybug. I completely agree. And I'm your sensei, saying if the IRGC used Panamanian oil ship to move some of their oil, will the U.S. military intervene? How can the U.S. military prevent this from keep on happening? I'm not sure, because if they're moving it, what ends up happening is the Islamic Republic sells oil to that Panamanian flag tanker in the UAE. Then that company in the UAE now owns that oil and ships it out of the Strait of Hormuz. It's a gray area. It came from the IRGC, but it's owned by the UAE now. What do you do?
The U.S. has a lot of information regarding what ship is carrying what and where they're coming from. If a Panamanian flag is not going to fool them, right? A false flag is not going to fool them, right? So
Correct.
They need to do more than that to
Yeah.
be able to bypass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just a legal gray area. Thank you, Sensei. And Grant says all the confetti with alligrams. We also hit confetti on both channels, right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
we did.
Sweet.
But it doesn't matter. What matters is that it happened after you, which we should avoid that. Guys, on my chat, we should like next time we're gonna beat Ali, okay? We're gonna get to our goal before Ali.
You know, I think we've streamed almost 100 times. No, more like 80. Like 80, 85 times, I think, together.
Really?
Which is an insane amount, right? Yeah, because it's
my
been, we stream every single day. We've streamed for 2.5 months since I started YouTube. Since I started, we've been streaming together every single day. I missed one day.
Big.
And so that's like, yeah, it's like 80 something times. And out of those 80 something times, I've beaten you on the super chat counter twice. So guys, I think we got some catching up to do, actually.
Which is unacceptable. Unacceptable. This new guy is beating me already. Imagine where we're going to be for 1 year from now. God damn it.
Oof. And thank you, Grant, for the super chat. Steak and Beans is saying it's a matter of decision to take the regime down. USA politics and geopolitics. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do or anything. You just need to neutralize the other dictators around Iran and their influence. That's not so easy.
Wait, see,
That's my biggest fear.
It's a matter of decision to take the regime down. USA politics, geopolitics. It's not hard to do anything. Just need to neutralize the other dictators around Iran. Iran's influences. Yeah. So here's a summary of that. I think it's easy to get rid of the Islamic Republic. It's difficult to deal with the aftermath. That's what you're saying. Yes.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, guys, like if the United States wanted to not worry about the midterms, the market, the media, oil prices, inflation, its allies, if it didn't want to, if it had no self-imposed restrictions, Ali, how long it would take between the time where United States decided to get rid of the Islamic Republic and the time it would be over?
Like a month?
Half a day. If it was no restrictions and no worried about no care for containment of no worried about any of the consequences, political, inside politics, midterms, nothing. Like no American public, how they're going to react, nothing. I think they could finish this in half a day.
Okay, I see that. I can see that being a possibility, yeah. In an afternoon. Thank you, Steak and Beans, for that super chat. That's my biggest fear, is like the aftermath. What's going to happen? Who's going to take advantage?
The aftermath in Iran will be fine. I mean, long term.
It's internal. So not internal, external. Other countries taking advantage of
internal politics of United States.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. Our next super chat is by Fleshy Interloper saying, "Finally, Alligrams, guys. Should I have them like earlier in the show? Yesterday I had them earlier in the show.
No, I think it's good where you have it. Yeah, don't give them what they want right away. They have to wait for it."
Thank you, Fleshy. And Tao Fei saying, quote, "Sunrise on the 5th day. Look to the west." End quote. Things are moving in the wings, y'all. We're showing you guys the airlifts. They're still continuing. Still more troops, more equipment, logistics ships from Singapore. They're still coming in. When that arrives, by the way, I'll give you guys an update on that. But we capture everything. Even that oil tanker that was captured by the U.S. disappeared and came back. We got that one too. Nothing escapes our eye, our God's eye.
So wait, Ali, what happened? Didn't we just have yesterday some attacks by the Islamic Republic on some commercial ships? Didn't we have that yesterday? Or did I imagine?
They struck another ship.
Okay. One ship or multiple ships?
Yeah, one ship in the Strait of Hormuz was struck. The UK MTO actually refused to give details. They just said there was a conflict between military forces and the ship. We all know what that means. Price of oil went straight down.
Okay. But what happened? Didn't President Trump say that in response to any ships being attacked, he's going to take out bridges and power plants?
That's why we don't have any confirmation of who hit it. They're just saying, oh, military forces and the tanker. Oh my God, guys, who do you think hit it? Did the U.S. strike an oil tanker in the Strait? I don't think so. They're withholding information on it just to say that, oh, it didn't happen. I don't know. It's pretty obvious.
So a ship was attacked and we're not announcing who's attacking it so that we don't have to hit power plants and bridges. That's what you're suggesting?
That's what I'm suggesting.
I mean, who else would be hitting ships in the Persian Gulf? Probably.
We could always say it's the Jews, right? We could always say it's Israel.
Let's say it's Chile.
Ah, yes.
Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But you're right, Tao. I think there's a lot happening behind the scenes right here. We don't know what they're saying.
I hope if they are not preparing for something big, this is going to look bad. If they're not going to, we still haven't done a proper response to 4 American servicemen being killed by the Islamic Republic. 4 American servicemen were directly killed by the Islamic Republic. Still no proper response to that. And honestly, it's already too late, because anything they do now, that even if it's big, it's not going to look like it was in response to the 4 American servicemen being killed. So that was the lack of responses. It's a shame that was not responded to the way that it should have been.
Yeah. The American method on dealing with when you kill one of our own is to go after every single person responsible and eliminate them off the face of the earth. I still see some of them alive. It's really strange. And we have 3 super chats in a row from Eli Goldman saying, we need confetti.
Confetti. Thank you
for the super chats.
Thank you.
And we got them. Thank you so much, Ellie Goldman. And
Thank
Kevin
you.
Shaw is saying, hi, Armin.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you. So,
Hello, hello.
and again, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat as well. And Amir the Cricket is saying, to confetti and beyond.
Beyond, yes.
Did you ever watch Toy Story?
Yes, of course. To infinity and
I
beyond.
love that movie.
Who
Well,
hasn't
good.
watched Toy Story?
Thank you, Amir. Always appreciate you.
Ah,
And
at that.
Nail Bunny saying, we love you, Armin.
oh,
I got
I
people
love you
to.
too. He's so happy with himself.
People are saying they can't super chat in my chat for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Huh. Maybe YouTube's having a stroke? I'm not sure. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting caught up on the breaking news. Nothing crazy here. Thank you, Nail Bunny. And Mike's Spring, or yeah, Misha Spring. Thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Very generous of you. Hope you keep showing up. And Nail Bunny with the gifted 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Also, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nilbani. Thank you for the support.
Very appreciated. And we have a very generous super chat from Brian saying,
oh, wow.
by freeing Iran, we free ourselves. Payende Iran.
Thank you for supporting Ali like that. Look at that. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. Brian,
That's
are
very
you
generous.
American or are you Iranian? Are you Iranian? Because like, if this is, imagine Brian is an American saying Payende Iran and realizing that Iran is a turning point. That's great. And hopefully, you know.
I mean, honestly, I never thought we would be here. Like, people support so many non-Iranians supporting Princes of Pahlavi, saying Javid Shah, saying Payende Iran, understanding so many of the details of Iran. Like, honestly, could have never imagined us being here.
That's great. And guys, I know their name is Brian Daly, but it's the internet, so I was just wondering. Thank you so much for that generous super chat. Really appreciate you also understanding what's at stake here. Very much appreciated. Thank you. And Sarah Yu saying, on a positive note, good leaders are visionaries. Trump's pinned Truth Social is his vision of U.S. relationship with other countries, including Iran. Morocco is an example. His big picture is clear. Javid Shah. Javid Shah, Sarah.
Javid Shah.
Yeah, so he actually pinned, there's a highway in Morocco that the King of Morocco built, and I think they named it after Trump, if I'm correct. I only glanced at it for like 2 seconds. I think, you know, that's what Sarah is referring to.
Sarah, I like President Trump's long-term vision, if I understand it correctly. I like it. But the issue is that we might be running out of time, though. Like, what happens if the vision, we don't see the vision because of the midterms, the Democrats win big, and then they could put so many obstacles. I mean, I don't know if they would be able to. I don't know if it's true that the Democrats are going to win big in the midterms. And I don't know if it's true, if they do win big, how much they're going to be able to hold President Trump back with the powers that the new powers that they gain, right? So yeah, division is great, but are we running out of time?
I think so. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you, sir.
And our next super chat is from Steak and Beans, who says, Tradition does say Rebecca was 3 and Isaac was 37, and people lived up to 400 years old then. Also, Isaac didn't defoil a kid till she was mature, but this is due to calculations not mentioned in the Torah. I'm not sure. I think
traditions say that, but it doesn't say that in the Torah. And yes, even if traditions do say that, it doesn't mean that they had any sexual relationship. Thank you, Sick and Beans.
I told my chat, I'm like, guys, you don't need to super chat. I'll just take a look at the chat and read the messages. And Tal's like, shut up and take my money. Thank you, Steak and Beans. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Nail Bunny says, I fell asleep last night and missed the metric system fight. Oh, for 200 years, science has been metric, including the Manhattan Project and U.S. space program.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, the Manhattan Project, they had to bring in foreign scientists to actually get the thing up and going. So
that's actually but that's a good point, because people are like, no, United States has I would say the metric system is better than whatever you guys have. What do you call it in the U.S.? And like, no, I mean USA, it must be better because look at our science. Let's look at your science. Your science, U.S. science, is in metric system. Okay, so people say like United States is superior, so their measuring system must be superior. That doesn't make any sense, because then U.S. is superior because of its technology and its science, and its technology and its science is in metric. Great point, Nail Bunny. Great point. So the metric is American because U.S. science and technology is American. Fantastic point.
When I was working with foreign doctors, that's actually how I became more fluent in the metric system. Believe it or not.
I mean, you're a scientist. How do you defend? How you're not on the metric system side? The science that you have done in U.S. has all been by metric system. You measure everything, and like when you go to your lab, what do? Do you measure things in pounds or grams? In your lab, grams. There you go.
Yeah, centimeters, millimeters. Yeah.
There you go.
Whatever.
In U.S. labs. There you go. We win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but America
science. America science.
Monster truck. Thank you, No Bunny.
Monster truck was built using U.S. technology that was measured with the metric system. There you go.
To be fair, the monster trucks might be built with the foot in the inches system. I don't know.
The technology that went into it.
They got the size wrong. Thank you, Nail Bunny. We missed out actually. Oh, also, Nail Bunny, tomorrow we need you to tell us about the new Prime Minister of the UK. Why did he just suddenly do a 180? Starmer out. UK does a 180 policy. Now they let the US use Diego Garcia and other bases, and they want to help out with the Islamic Republic. I don't know what's going on. Next super chat is from Steak and Beans, saying Talmud says Talmud say a man marry underage girl is filth and God forbid it, and vice versa, women marry underage boy. Been said in times of Rome. Okay. So for 2,000 years, they've been saying that. Cool.
Thank you, Second Beans.
Yeah, thank you. Who also said, and everything is in context of maturity of the era. Till 200 years ago, all over the world, parents would have their children married in ages of 13 and 14, but same age with same age. Yeah, I mean, I'm 26 and I'm still not married.
The issue with Muhammad is that he is supposed to be a role model for all people at all time. And he raped a 9-year-old. So That's the issue. Like even if you said like, oh, well, that was back then. First of all, it was not back then. Not even back then it was normal to have sex with a 9-year-old. Sure, like 12, 13, 14, that was normal. 9, guys, back then in ancient times, 12 was normal, 13 was normal, 14 was normal, but not even back then, 9 was not normal. 9 was not normal, okay? And the issue with Muhammad is the standards of that time was brought to present day, because you're supposed to copy it exactly how it is from back then.
That's gross to even think about. But thank you, Steak and Beans.
Thank you.
And moving on from
Yes,
that,
this is important to know, because a lot of people, it's very important to know this, because Islam is spreading and it's dangerous, and you have these points against them, and they have no answer for it, and instead of responding to why you're following a prophet that did this crime, they do whataboutism with Judaism. So it's important that you know this, because you need to defend against the spread of Islam, and you need to know the weakness of Islam. One of the greatest weaknesses of Islam is the point that their prophet had sex with a child. Like, this is like, just putting that out there is the most important thing to stop Islam. And the only thing they have is like whataboutism. So you need to this is important for the sake of protecting your society against Islamic takeover. You need to know these points, and you need to use them effectively.
Gotcha. That is a good point. Okay, I definitely see the importance of that. Looks like Apple Pay is down in some areas, and that might be why some people can't super chat. Bloody Apple.
See, this is why I never use Apple products. Android all the way.
And Fleshy Interloper is saying further treachery. Talking about how I'm usurping you. I'm taking over.
Why? You guys abandoned me. Tomorrow we will win. Today was a loss, but tomorrow we will come back and we'll win the super chat race.
Armin, actually last night, our last stream together, it got 24,000 views on my channel. Is that insane?
Oh my god.
Yes.
That is crazy.
Seriously.
Wow.
I'm almost at 4,000 subs. I'm at 3,800, 3,900 maybe. Check. Yeah, 3,900 subs. Guys, we're growing at a fast rate. It means YouTube. That's a good indicator. It means I'm bringing something of value that YouTube thinks is valuable to other people.
There's a huge demand for what you're offering.
You know what my mom said? She's like, yeah, you're only getting views because there's news. And I was like, Mom, that's not, just because there's news doesn't mean people are going to come watch me talk about it. There's stuff that you have to do behind the scenes. And she's like, no, it's just because there's news, you're getting views. And I was like, no.
Hi, Ali's mom. Hi.
And thank you, Fleshy. And thank you, John, for the jewels.
Thank you.
Tao Fei says, Fleshy beat me to it. Anyway, keep up the good work, both of you. We need the straight skinny, and y'all do that for us. Straight skinny. You mean the straight and narrow? I never heard that one before. Thank you, Tao. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we will keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Steak and Beans says, a 2,200-year-old Jewish sage said, if I am not for myself, then who is for me? And if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, then when? Okay. Iranians will win anyway, with or without USA or Israel. True.
True, but that would take so much longer, and it would be so much more difficult, and we have to pay a much heavier price for it. Higher cost in life.
Yes.
It's true. With or without help from outside, Iranian people will eventually win this, but it's going to take so many more lives lost without the help to get there.
Yeah. Someone said that sounds so much better in Hebrew. Yeah, you're probably right. It's like the allogram.
not
Some of them
good.
sound way better in Farsi. But I get what it's saying. It's proponent of, hey, you have to be important for yourself, but you also have to have other people important for yourself as well. Basically, love yourself and love thy neighbor is what I gathered from that. Thank you, Steak and Beans.
Thank you.
And Kevin Shaw says, test, YouTube.
It's
Looks
working.
like his Apple Pay's up. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin, for testing. Appreciate that very much. And Ellie is saying, we have a town in the Golan Heights called Trump Heights. Oh.
Really? Wow.
I didn't know that.
Cool.
We should rival them. We should name a town in Iran Trump Town.
Trump streets, Trump town, Trump hotels.
Trump Town. And all the streets are just Trump. Trump 1, Trump 3, Trump 52, 133rd Trump Street.
Oh
Thank you,
God.
Ellie. That's that's just born an idea in my head. I think when I go and run for a member of parliament in a new free Iran in the future, like, I propose. And our next super chat is from Steak and Beans saying space program was metric because they were all Germans.
Ooh.
That's weird. Why would they be German?
Stole their Nazi scientists.
Oh. Thank you, Steak and Beans.
Thank you.
And you're right. Shauna says America uses freedom units, which means that we use the best measuring system for the job at hand. Yeah, I mean, don't you like
agree.
freedom?
I agree. Americans use the best measuring system for the job at hand. So that's why for the most important things they need to do, which is science and technology, they use the metric system. The Americans always use the best tool for their most important jobs. I agree with Shana. That's why the metric system wins.
Thank you, Shauna, for being on my side. Even though you're in the wrong chat, you're still on my side. I appreciate that.
No. Hey.
And our next super chat is from Adabine saying Rebecca was not 3. Abraham heard from a huge amount of family that Rebecca was one of them. To say she was 3 is to say all those people were born on the same day. Genesis 22:20-24. So okay.
Cool.
Wait, is she saying that like he didn't know, or I don't know? Okay.
I don't know. I just looked it up and I realized like it's not, she wasn't 3. That's all I know.
And is that in the Torah?
There's in the Torah it doesn't say she's 3. The
Okay.
verse that was that Jew hater was referring to was just a punishment for people who are have sexual relationship with a child. It was the opposite of what he was saying. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Adabine, for clearing that up.
Thank you.
And Tao Fei says straight and skinny equals the truth. Okay, I'm going to start using that from now on. Welcome back, everyone. Let's give you the straight and skinny today.
Oh,
Thank you, Tao Fei.
Sounds right. That sounds cool.
Appreciate that. And Saber Coaching says your updates are accurate and timely, Addy. Damn it, Gam. Which means may your butt be warm. We have the best.
No, it means that
may your
breath
butt always be warm.
No, your breath. Damn it, not your butt. Why because your breath is warm when you're alive. I think that's what they're saying. That
you guys, I'm kidding.
Your butt be... I didn't. Okay.
Thank you, Saber Coaching. I've always said that. I always say that.
Okay.
I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you very much. And
you.
Noah, the Persian American, saying, I didn't realize you've been streaming for 9 hours. I feel bad. We could have done my topic in the group tomorrow, so you could have had a longer break.
No, Noah, your topic was amazing. Thank you. Oh my God. Noah is talking about our discussion group. Hold on, our discussion group. This is actually a good way for us to talk about our discussion group. Guys, we have this discussion group that you could come, and Ali has a group call coming up
in an
in
hour.
how many hours? In an hour?
Oh no. You guys want to talk to me? I'll be there.
Okay, the link to the discussion group is in the chat. It's in the QR code in the top left. It's also in the description as well. It's also in the bio of Liberty Politics YouTube channel. So yeah, Noah is saying that I didn't know you were so tired. I wish I let you go. No, Noah, I'm glad that you it was a very timely topic. So I'm glad that you managed to squeeze that in at the last minute. So that was good. Thank you. And thank you for caring. I appreciate that.
Very kind.
Guys, I start my live streams on my Persian channel. So before I even go live on the English channel, on the Persian channel, I go live over there. And on my Persian channel, my audience is 80% inside Iran and 20% Iranians outside of Iran, diaspora. But 80% of my audience on the Persian channel is inside Iran.
By the way, did you show them that Telegram message I sent you?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries.
Wait,
I was just curious to see what they would say.
Okay, I will. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. No, I was just wondering. It's not a big deal.
Okay, I'm going to send it to Kaveh. Kaveh is my content review manager. He's going to put it in.
Sweet. Okay. There we go. And we have our last super chat by Shauna saying, sorry, Adi, I've been switching back and forth because I'm a golden retriever and want to say hi to everyone. No, I'm totally messing. We're totally
that is so cute though.
Fake rivalry going on between us.
But that is so cute. I'm a golden retriever. That's so sweet. Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Thank you for the super chat, Shauna. And so, guys, there is no significant breaking news at the moment. And so with that, we will leave you guys off there, and we will be back at the same time tomorrow. So please make sure you subscribe to both of our channels, Ali Samani, Liberty Politics. Whichever one you're watching, make sure to follow the other one here every single day. Every single day.
So I'm going to put Ali's channel, the link to Ali's channel in my chat for you guys to subscribe to. No, for you guys to ignore and not subscribe to. Do not do it. Do not do it. The only reason why I'm putting the link to Ali's channel in the chat is for you guys to know what channel not to subscribe to. Okay? And then, but in Ali's chat, I'm going to put the link to my channel, Liberty Politics. That's the one you subscribe to. That's the one you subscribe to. Okay. And then also I'm going to put the link to the Monkey's channel in the chat. He's going to go live soon, later today, with Amu Jeff, I think. So they're going to talk about there's military strategies against the Islamic Republic and what they think should happen against the Islamic Republic to finish the job once and for all. So they're going to go into a lot of details on that. Yeah. So I think they're going to go live pretty soon after us.
That'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys.
Okay. All right, guys. That was us. So see you guys same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian.
Slava Ukrainian.
Cuba Libre. Long live America. Javicha. Iran. See you guys tomorrow.